Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. Let me get this mask down off my face so y'all guys can hear me. I'm gonna be discussing something I may get a lot of ridicule. You guys may think I'm crazy, but I've seen it over the years here growing up, especially years ago here in southeastern Kentucky, here in kind of in the mountains, and we kind of got a mixture of mountain. Well, we ain't got no flat land, but we've got farmland here, and it's on the. If you read the title about the two different types of white-tailed deer, they are definitely, in our opinion, every old timer around here thinks they are too. They're the type that grows over in like West Virginia, very eastern Kentucky, southeastern Tennessee, eastern Tennessee, over in the mountains, the big mountains, Smoky Mountains, around in that area. They're little short, stocky deers. And that's all we used to have in this country here years ago, back in the mid 90s and 80s and stuff. That's about the only thing you've seen. Then they got to be in more like your northern deer, your big long body deer. If anybody watched my video, like that 8-pointer and stuff I killed last year, just a standard regular deer. But oh, this face mask is choking me. It's cold out, guys. But this year I didn't know it till I got the deer hung up, and we aged the deer at about 2-year-old. The one I killed the other night, and long and behold, we're in the western part of the county, the less mountain area of the county. And it's been, I know, 20 years since I've seen one of these deer in this part of the county, or this bloodline still coming out in them. And I know this is totally debatable. You might, I mean, it may just maybe a myth up in our hillbilly head, but now they are different in the length of them. That's in the length of the deer. That seem like the mountain deers are short and stocky, and the other deers are more longer. And just if you're up in Ohio and Indiana and Illinois and places like that where there's tons of whitetails, western Kentucky, you won't even know, you'll never know what I'm talking about. Western Tennessee, Oklahoma, Kansas, out in that area, they're a lot longer body. And what we do have them here too. But the little, we always call them the mountain deer, the little old time mountain deer. Then you had the regular deer. That's what my uncles and all those grandpa and them always call them, just old mountain deers. And they just, like I say, they're short and stocky, and they don't get as big a racks, and they usually don't, well, they can get pretty heavy now. I mean, around here they will, because we got plenty of food sources. It's like if you're in West Virginia or somewhere like that, or eastern Kentucky, eastern Tennessee, you'll never know the difference. But I'm going to show you the deer hanging, and then show you the difference of what I'm talking about. Because this deer here is at least year and a half old. We can determine that 100% sure, but I think he's more 2-year-old based teeth. And just look at his body, guys. He's short, very short, and that's what we call a mountain deer. He's very short. How did I know? He's like, okay, I killed a button buck with a bow and hung it exactly the same way that's hanging, and his nose drug the ground. Nothing like 6 inches touching the ground. So a little button buck is 6 inches longer, and that year and a half old, maybe 2-year-old. I'm about 100% sure he's 2-year-old by his by his rack. And this is pretty common for one mountain deers, is to have. See how heavy his bases is? I mean, his bases of a 2-year-old deer, and his teeth look like a 2-year-old deer. And that's pretty common in them mountain deers. And his neck is huge. But I know he's rutting hard too. That's no excuse for that, but other than heavy rut. But if anybody's ever heard anything like that, or seen him, or that's just something for us here, something I was raised up around, they always seemed like he was 2 stalks of white-tailed deer, and he was like the mountain type and just a standard old whitetail. But that little short-bodied deer was the first we had around here years ago. That's all you seen. You didn't see them old big long-bodied ones too. Like I say, to the mid-90s on up, then they started coming in. Then they just finally, you didn't see these no more. But where this bloodline come from, I do not know. But to get down here on the lake like that, I wouldn't be as shocked as bad if it's way out in the mountains some more, like where we snake hunt and stuff at. You know, it'd be probably a pretty common sight over there. But over in here, you just don't see them much. It's been 20 years since I've seen one, maybe longer than that. I've killed a lot of deer in the last 20 years around here. And the size of his feet and stuff, you can tell. If you seen that track in the woods, you'd think it was there, what a foot. Here's my hand. I've got a big hand, look at that. From his dew claws out to the palm of his hand, as big as my hand, look at that. He's about 5.5 inches right here. dude clawed my hand. So yeah, he's I don't know. But we always, like I say, always growing up here in the hills and stuff, we always had our mountain deer, and like I say, the new style deer come in. They're usually a darker color too. That's another thing that you just always tell they just short bodied. They're short right here in between their rib cage and their shoulder blades. That's what makes them shorter to me. And it may not be nothing to it, but it does. It definitely. If you had one here to compare it by, if you had another yearling to a 2-year-old buck here to hang up just a standard buck bite, you would see what I'm talking about. But what we pulled with so many deers over the year, I've kind of noticed that. If anybody else noticed it, I mean, they may be all over the country like that too. It may be just a coincidence. I don't know, but I think there's 2 bloodline of whitetail deer, definitely in this part of the country. I know they restocked them here several years ago, and they might have brought in some more northern deer out of Indiana. I think they did, be quite honest. And that may be what I'm getting at. This right here was more the standard deer we had here in southeastern Kentucky in the mountains. We just always called it a mountain deer, but I don't know. Anybody got any info on that, or like to put their input? I guess leave me a comment. I really don't know, but just us country people, we always said these 2 stock whitetail deer, the mountain deer and the regular ones, and that's what we've called them all our life here. Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna get this dude worked up here and in the deep freezer, and I just wondered, it's curious. I was got thinking that I gave him hung. He'd been hung for a while, and I've been thinking about it, like, I wonder if anybody else has seen that. But like I say, it's been 20 years since I've seen a short body deer like that. And I'm pretty sure by his teeth and his horn bases and his feet, that deer's a good 2-year-old. He may not be, but be awful fooled if he's not. If he's a true mountain deer, he's definitely 2-year-old. You've never seen one rack that big with, unless it was 2-year-old. Then them little mountain deer, it took them 5 or 6-year-old to get 100 inches back in them days. And I know they still have that problem on West Virginia and places in the deep mountains. They're just like that deer, short bodied, stocky, heavy. All right, guys, I want to jump off here. We'll catch you on the next one.